Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to the United Kingdom Speedrunner Gathering. And we are going to have a very peculiar game, because this is not your standard speedrun. This is going to be a super play here. Our good friend Eerokurkisuo will play Touhou 12.8 Great Fairy Wars, also known as Touhou Sangetsusei. Alright, Eero, take it away.
Thanks very much, Ulvind. Let's get the run going in just a sec here. Need to make sure that I choose the right option so I'll actually start the right run and not the wrong category. Need to get the right menus. Anyway, looks like I'm on the right place, so let's get started in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. I'll have to focus here at the start so I don't fuck this up. Oh, I almost fucked it up. Okay, now we're good. We're good. That's what I was afraid would happen at the start of the run, since it's kinda easy to die there right at the start. But we're good to go. We're all good. These are just minor turbulence here. Yeah, now we're good. Okay. This is a bit improvised since there were slight mistakes in the start, but okay, we're now en route. We are all good. So, as you can see, we are going to be freezing bullets in this game as the primary means of defense and attack. And to charge it, we need this ice percentage that you see above our character and on the top right on ice power. And we charge that by shooting bosses, by grazing bullets, and by buffering the freeze that we charge. And we can't be shooting while we're charging it, so we need to first charge like this, and then we can release the ice and defend ourselves from this attack that we really cannot avoid otherwise. So far so good. Also, those blue bullets are random and they can hit us at any time, which didn't happen yet. Now here we want to graze these bullets, so we can keep milking this attack for a bit longer. And you'll notice that we are not making this freeze touch the boss, since every time that your ice touches enemies or bosses near their very large hitboxes, they take a lot of damage. And to be able to get more score from this, we want to keep the attack going for longer and not kill the boss too early. So we're only going to damage him here at the very end. Then we're gonna be using some bombs here, hopefully without dying, to freeze the entire screen for a couple of extra points. Oh, that was scary. Then we got the grids. I need to focus here. There's been a couple of mistakes so far, but let's nail this. It's going well. We need to hit these specific positions here. Then time the freeze right, so we get this huge freeze here. And now we redirect these bullets, get this freeze here, spin around a bit at the bottom to make it magically larger. It just works. Okay, looking good. There we go. Now we get into the first boss of the fight, Luna Child. And this game actually has a story, which is that the Cerno's house got destroyed as an attempt to draw her attention and get her to join this terrorist group of the 3 Fairies of Light. And so Cerno is going to take revenge on them immediately by running them down and freezing them to death. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, we again want to milk the boss. Ah! This is not good. Okay. You'll see how the bullets kinda bend around and start moving towards me after a while. We want to use that to our advantage by grazing the bullets as they turn around like that. And we also want to do that without dealing too much damage to the boss, while still getting large freezes for a big score. It's going pretty well so far. Need to graze here, but without dying. Very good. There we go. Then we're gonna be using the score bomb here, freeze the entire screen for a massive score boost. Then we're gonna be using the first intentional suicide here. What this does is it gets us more PF, but I'll be talking more about that later because this is pretty intense. There'll be more of those, but it does a couple of things. I need to focus on not doing too much damage to the boss here, since she moves randomly during my every ice, and if she moves into the ice, she can take a massive amount of damage and not allow me to finish this pattern in the optimal way. But she behaved well, very nice. Then we got the second non-spell attack, which is again going to be a moment where I'm going to be struggling to commentate, as this is going to involve a lot of random bullets, a lot of very rude random boss movement, and trying to charge this ice while milking this for score. Oh, this is bad, this is bad, this is really bad. Okay, we're good. This is very random, and this can get very rude, like the made a small mistake. I have iframes right now, so I can use that for a recovery. Okay, we only died once, that's not bad. Then we need to do a freeze here in the corner to survive this start, but without doing too much damage. Then we want to brace some of these bullets here and set up these hopefully large freezes. Her movement again is quite random, so we have to adapt the way we do this according to how she moves, which is not so favorable right now. If she moves to the left, I'm good. Okay, good. Now I can do a freeze that doesn't deal damage to her. So again, extend the score milk a little. Now I can do another one of those. This is gonna have to be a bit careful. Okay, very good. And then just one more freeze. Land it. There we go. That was very stressful. Anyway, now stage 2, need to make sure to choose the correct option in this menu, so we play the category that I'm actually trying to play, which is A1. The other menu option would get me to A2. Need to focus for the stage section. And this freeze at this pre-routed time. Nailed it. These rings are random, need to go through them on reaction. Get the freeze. Charge the ice by grazing at point blank range. Freeze all of that. Okay, nailed that. That's a pretty dangerous strat, but we got it. And now we can just wait here and get this huge ice here. Very nice. And what's very important in this game is that we make our freezes 30% or larger. What that does is it gets more resources. I didn't talk about it yet, but every time we freeze, we are gaining perfect freeze or bombs and motivation or lives. And we want to freeze in specific ways that get more of that. And the 30% marker is meaningful, since when you freeze for 30% or more ice area, you gain 20% perfect freeze, but when you freeze below, you get only up to 10%. It jumps it by a huge amount and maxes out at the 30% mark. So we really want to see those specific parts. Okay, let's dodge this and then launch the score bomb. Very good. Then we've got 2 more suicides coming up. Only 2, not 3 and not 1. And you'll see what this does is the boss is taking much less damage from these freezes than she would otherwise. The damage from the death is cancelling the damage from the freeze. That allows me to do extra freezes here for additional score. Of course, it also causes some minor possible complications like game over in later if we don't play well, but it's fine. It'll be fine. And now with the extra PF from those suicides, we can do another bomb here. After this freeze, safe spot this below the boss while grazing to charge the next ice, and then we freeze defensively, and now we just dodge the bullets, and then use the score bomb at the right time. Very good. That got a big poster. And this specific freeze timing and position here. Very good. Need to focus. Shoot just the right amount there, so I charge my ice but don't kill too many of these enemies, so I can land this freeze here. Very nice. Make the ices larger. Charge it. These fireballs here are random, hopefully I can avoid them. Oh, very scary. And then we set up that slightly larger last freeze there. It didn't get too lucky, but that went pretty good. And while we're preparing for this upcoming boss, why don't we hear a word from our wonderful host, Ulvind?
Alright, so, keep in mind, we have a couple runs that are left during this day we have actually about 5-6 runs left. But if you want to get updates on when the marathons go live and on when your favorite run might be coming up later that evening, don't forget to follow us on Twitter at UKSG Marathon. Also, if you want to get featured, or if you want to have a chance to get featured, don't hesitate to use the hashtag UKSGWinter2021.
Thank you, Ulvind. And that spin in the boss portrait is very necessary for manipulating the RNG for this upcoming fight, as this beginning pattern is... Okay, we nailed the first part, but it continues. These bullets are random. They are not going to be in fixed positions, so we have to adapt to this and go through these small gaps. Okay. And then land this quite specific freeze timing, and then grace at point blank range to charge the next dice. Hopefully this goes well. Oh, that freeze was bad. I'm gonna have to recover. Ah, shit. The freeze didn't let me grace, so I was in trouble, but dying once here is fine. It's not the end of the world. Okay, there we go. Make sure to go around these and then light this final freeze. Small optimization to... By damaging the boss with the freeze during the iframes in between attacks, I still got full motivation from that attack. Even though the boss didn't take damage, that's gonna allow me to possibly get 1 extra life near the end of the run. Which would be very nice. We just want to redirect these bullets here, get some grace, land this freeze here, then go through these random bullets hopefully without dying. This attack gets very stressful, I'll have to focus. Okay, we're good. And using score bombs every once in a while. Here's the entire screen. So far so good. Okay, hopefully these fireballs don't trap me. They're not exactly aimed at you, so depending on your luck they can get very rude or try to trap you like that. Then we got more of these crazy rings, except these are harder and faster. There we go. And you also have to dodge fireballs here, which cannot get frozen by your eyes after you do the dangerous score freeze. Very, very scary stuff. Ah, this is bad. There's gonna be some leftover bullets since I didn't nail that freeze exactly. Really scary. Ah, shit! Made a misinput there. It's okay, I'll just focus a bit. Ah, that's not good. Oh, I needed the bomb on this. I forgot. It's better to do it late than never. That's part of the plan for this. Okay. Then get close to the boss so we can land just a small freeze here. That again hits the boss during the iframes between attacks for some extra score, extra lives. Then we're going to be going from that hellish attack to another really difficult one, where we're going to be doing what we call an ice grace, where we surf the edge of the ice as it's expanding and charging our next ice before we're actually able to start charging it using the normal means. If we land it, it's gonna make this a lot easier, but it can also get us killed since you don't have iframes under the ice in this. You can just get killed anytime if you go ahead just a little too much. And how the ice spreads is random. It's not always gonna spread at the same speed. Sometimes it can even wildly vary during the freeze. It can start out fast but then get super slow. So you have to react very quickly when you're doing that trick. Okay, we got it. That was a bit dangerous. Then we're gonna score bomb this final attack, and here is gonna be a lot of tight grazing to charge his ice here, while dodging these fireballs. You see how these fireballs leave these trails of small bullets? We want to freeze them and graze them and not die. The pattern here is random, but it repeats on every cycle, so if I've memorized this by now, by reading it, I should be able to dodge this. I know that I have to move left at the end after I freeze. That's the pattern here. If I keep this together, I should be able to get a good milk. There's also a lot of score optimization going on here, but I don't even understand it myself. You have to freeze this in quite a specific and weird way for this to work just right. Oh, we dealt too much damage to the boss. That's not ideal, but it's fine. It'll be fine. Ideally, I would have wanted to use a bomb there at the end, but due to some accidents, she died a bit early. Random bullets here to freeze, hopefully for our 30%. There we go, we got it. Another random bullet freeze, very good. Freeze the suicide bullets. Then I want to go for freezes that kill these 2 big fairies that fire completely random bullets that are hopefully going to cooperate. Okay, fine so far. Weaken the enemy and simultaneously charge the ice and then drop this freeze as close as I can get safely so it connects on them both. That collects frozen items from the enemies, which gives a couple more points, or we're just shooting them down. Let's dodge the fireballs here, after we do this big freeze. Focus on the fireballs, very good. Then we got the grids, where we want to freeze, while dodging the fireballs and grazing some bullets to charge the next ice, like this. And then use a score bomb at a specific timing, very good. Then right away to the mid-boss, where you have to skip dialogue. Then instantly do a complex pattern. Ah, shit! Didn't see that one. That one was a bullet from the laser. A bullet released by the laser touch in the ice, which makes it explode into pellets, which can be very unpleasant. As you see there, I died. So I'm gonna have to make a backup pattern here. I would have wanted the bomb there at the start, but since I wasn't able to, I'll have to delay it to here. And then use a suicide. Oh! Want to dodge into these random bullets before freezing to make it a little bigger if we can. Ah, this is bad, this is bad. I got trapped. I didn't want to do that, but if I'm trapped I kinda have to. Ah, this is bad, this is bad. Okay, we held on long enough to get this freeze. Then another difficult attack, we need to focus. Need to freeze defensively here, and then deal a lot of damage to the boss, while hopefully not dying to the random bullets. And then land another big freeze, and it captures the boss with the freeze damage to get extra points from the frozen items. That was really dangerous. So I'm glad I nailed it. Then more of these grids, we're just gonna be grazing the bullets while dodging the fireballs, and then using some score bombs at planned times. Setting up for an ice graze here, if you can get it, nailed it. That's gonna make this final freeze here a little bigger. And it's just super swag to graze the revenge bullets from the enemies. Then we got the knife range section where we are again gonna have a bit of focus required. We have to do some very specific grazes and redirections to nail these freezes. Be able to charge them in time. Shoot the enemies just enough, not too little, not too much. So they give us enough charge, but don't die too early. Die at just the right time. Almost nailed it there, but it went really well. Okay, then it's just more of these big fairies at the end. We're gonna be using a score bomb first. And then we're going to be going for the kill with the ice on the last 2. Weaken them both. And then try to inch a bit closer. Nail the freeze and we should be good to go. Okay. And now we are coming up to the final boss, which is all 3 fairies at once. I haven't been able to explain the story much, but first we fought one of the fairies, then we fought another, and now we fight all 3 at the same time. As they want to show that they are more powerful together, as a justification for joining forces to terrorize human society, as they tell us. Help us terrorize human society. Very important stuff. Get this set up with the RNG manipulation on the boss sprite. Always important. Anyway, we're gonna be having to do a lot of defensive freezes here, but without dying to these random bullets that are going to spawn when the lasers hit our eyes. We have to do it this way for specific reasons. We could freeze closer to make this safer, but then it would deal damage to the boss, and then we couldn't get as much points. So we need to do it further away, which means we have to avoid random bullets that come from the pellets when the lasers hit our eyes and make it explode. I wasn't able to get the frozen items there since she was too far away from the boss. Random movement didn't favor me, but this is fine. Use a score bomb, this is going well. Then I'm gonna use another intentional suicide here. Control the damage from my freezes. And I still have iframes here, so I can just dive into the bullets. Okay, that's good. And I just freeze defensively here, get a bit of extra milk before we finish this pattern with the next freeze. Just the ice, freeze it before it explodes. Then we got to finish the side fairies here very early. At the right time to set up good freezes that get us both score and hopefully let us live through these very very rude fireballs that get bent around by the light that glows around the boss at specific times. We nailed it. Okay, very good. And we managed to freeze the revenge bullets from the mini bosses to get big ices. That's really good. Then we're going to do another cool strat here, where we go into a safe spot above the boss's head. This is only a safe spot when the sun is glowing, so you have to exit it afterwards. Also, this is... I'm gonna have to shoot a bit to charge my next dice. Okay. Then just graze some bullets here. Charge my next dice. Ideally I would not get trapped in the corner, but I'm getting a bit scared of these bullets. Let's be closer to the center, that's where I want to freeze. Okay, that's good. And just shoot a bit, charge my final ice. Get some grace from these yellow bullets. And finish the boss, very good. Okay, we're good. Then we use more score bombs here. After dodging these very rude random bullets. Okay, that went well. These are very fast and very nasty. So I hope I can get through these. Have to dodge these in order to be able to get higher scoring freezes. Okay, we're good, we're good. Now we just need to do the final score bomb and set up for the next score freeze. In this corner right here, like this. So it connects to the boss and spreads over the entire screen at some point. Then we set up another freeze for the upcoming spell card, where the first freeze we do here can damage on the spell card to the side fairies. If we time it right like this, you see the side fairies are already damaged because that freeze exploded right when their health bar spawned. That's a very specific timing to land that trick, to make this a lot more consistent. Very good. And now we can start milking this spell card for points with these iceberg freezes, as we call them. We want to hit the tip of the iceberg, and then the freeze spreads downward, exponentially bigger, like an iceberg. And these bullets are completely random, so we have to also dodge them and try to read where the tip of the would-be iceberg is, so we can land this freeze in just the right spot and get the points. It's going pretty well so far. We also have to dodge and graze these lasers that appear at a constant interval. And they just aimed at us, so once we know when it happens, we can just react to the sound effect and make a tab at that point to dodge them. But need to keep focus. Okay, very good. And you can also get some yellow bullets from the lasers exploding your freeze, which can be really ugly here. But thankfully that didn't happen. Then we're gonna use some suicides here. Suicides to control the damage and get more big freezes. Second suicide. Very good. Then we're gonna use a score bomb right here. Nailed it. There we go. Then I freeze. Oh, that was a slightly mistimed bomb, but this is fine, this is fine. If I was going for a PB, I would suicide here 2 more times, but I'm a bit afraid in a marathon to fall to my what could be my last life here, so I'm playing it slightly safer. Right now I have 2 extra lives, so I can afford to possibly die up to twice. On the very difficult final patterns coming up, it gets harder. It gets way worse. Let's see if we can nail the strat here. Land that big freeze there. I missed the strat. Was a bit late on that freeze, but we can just fall back to the backup strat where we kill this fairy a bit faster. A bit slower. Bit better in timing. Okay, very good. Then we do more ice grazes if we can land them. Charge my freeze and then hopefully surf the edge of this ice in a way that charges up my next freeze, like there. And if I do it correctly, I can just keep doing that repeatedly, but it's a quite tight time in the land, and if you get really bad luck, you can even die doing this. So it's better to err on the side of caution here. Very good. And charging these ices by doing these ice grazes allows us to use more freezes, since we don't shoot the boss to damage them. Allowing us to use 1 or 2 more of these than we normally could. Very good. Done really well. And now we got this really difficult attack where when the sun starts glowing, the bullets start doing this. This is why we have extra lives for this point, because this attack is rather rude, to put it mildly. It can go extremely bad, extremely quick. And it's just completely random what these bullets decide to do to you. They have been very unfriendly right now. And we want to freeze after this hard part stops to be able to get a larger freeze. Okay, going well. Please be friendly, please be friendly. Thank you. Oh, this is... Okay, this is fine. They didn't close up on me. You can really get trapped here in extremely difficult positions where you have almost no way to make it through. Okay, that was very close to going really bad. Okay, then we got the second to last attack, Team Tech Fairy Overdrive. There's 3 bosses here going around the screen, and when they hit the edges, you see the screen shakes, and that triggers a wave of spawning bullets from the top. And we want to milk this for score, getting these big freezes, and also killing all 3 fairies with freeze damage to get frozen items for some extra points, which is gonna add some additional complications, like not having enough freeze there to keep myself safe. That was very dangerous. And having to dodge through all these bullets to set up this freeze instead of freezing them. This is not good. Okay, we're fine. We just need to reset. I can use my iframes to reset this. This is fine, this is fine. This is fine. Everything's fine. No, this is getting pretty rude with these random green bullets. Ah, that's the wrong time for that fairy to die. That's not good. Ah, I didn't want that. I'm gonna have to do a backup strat here. Ideally, I would want to finish the boss with a freeze, but since I accidentally shot the fairy, I got shot at a bit. That's not entirely intentional, but this is fine, this is fine. Okay, now we need to just freeze in the middle of this triangle here for this final pattern, and shoot a specific amount. Not too little, not too much, the Goldilocks amount, to set up the next phase, where we're going to be cancelling an attack that the bosses do on this queue, where they turn bullets into fireballs like they did to a couple there, but if we time the freeze correctly, we can just cheese this attack and bypass it, like this. And we do specific freezes here in between to allow us to set up for this cancel. And then we just need to do some score bombs. Stop shooting so I can see the bullets better, very good. Then we just freeze here. Freeze, freeze, freeze. And then we just shoot a bit, try to finish up this last score bomb of the game. Oh! Couldn't dodge those. But this is fine, this is fine. Then we just freeze the final boss to end the game, get the frozen items from her. And that's time. Didn't quite keep up there, but one more thing, I had 994% motivation there at the end, which is important since you get a score bonus for each point of motivation that you have left at the end. And the maximum is 1000%, so we almost got a perfect clear bonus.
Alright, GG. GG.
That was pretty stressful, but I'm glad that the end game went really well here.
Danmaku games are definitely interesting to play, I might say.
Yeah. And I think this game is nowadays available on Steam as well. You can find it there with the Japanese title, which I'm not sure I remember what exactly it is, but you can find it there, Touhou 12.8 Fairy Wars. And thanks for having me here at UKSG. You can follow me on Twitter. I now have a speed Twitter after the previous UKSG. Big progress. And this run went really well, actually. There were a couple of mistakes, but a lot better than I expected. Especially since I kind of got busy close to the event and wasn't able to practice as much as I would have wanted to. But anyway, thanks for having me. And I heard we had some racing coming up after this run.